The skyline of Nairobi glittered like a glass symphony, towers of steel reflecting the orange flame of a dying sun. Inside the headquarters of Viridian Interiors, silence ruled the office of its lead designer, Zeri Mwandu. Zeri hadn't spoken in 5 years. Not a word. Not a sound. She communicated through gestures, short texts, and occasional notes written in clean cursive. No one dared ask why. Her designs spoke enough, fluid spaces with emotion carved into walls, colors that whispered longing, loneliness, and the weight of memory. Her silence wasn't a weakness. It was armor. She designed luxury homes, boutique hotels, even a minister's mansion. But no one ever entered her heart, not since that night when a fire swallowed her home, her mother, and her voice. Only one man had ever been close to that memory. And he was about to walk back into her life. He arrived on a Monday. Calm, confident, a clean-cut man with skin like roasted mahogany and eyes too observant to trust. Elijah Kamari, a renowned architect, fresh from Johannesburg. Recruited to co-lead a high-profile government tech hub project in central Nairobi. The company's CEO introduced him directly to Zeri. "This is Zeri Mwandu, our best mind," the CEO said. "She doesn't speak, but she'll tell you more with her designs than most can with 1,000 words." Elijah extended a hand. "I've heard of you," he said. "You reimagined the Garissa resort? That place moved me." Zeri blinked, nodded, and shook his hand. Her fingers stiffened at his touch. Familiar. Too familiar. Weeks passed. Zeri and Elijah worked side by side. Sketches. Mood boards. Material swatches. Conversations through messages and diagrams. He never treated her like a broken thing. He treated her like an equal, sometimes even a mystery. He made her laugh in silence. Once, he even mimicked her serious designer face, and nearly tripped on a roll of fabric just to see her smirk. One late night, they stood on the rooftop of their office building. "The city looks beautiful from here," Elijah said, sipping strong Kenyan coffee. "Do you ever wish you could just leave it all behind?" Zeri typed, "I tried once. But some memories travel with you." Elijah nodded. "Me too." They stood in silence. Then he asked, "Were you always silent?" She didn't answer. He didn't press. But her hands trembled the rest of the night. It happened unexpectedly. They were reviewing 3D renderings of a rooftop garden. Elijah leaned too far over her shoulder, and his cologne, something citrusy and oddly nostalgic, flooded her senses. She turned sharply. Their eyes locked. "Zeri," he whispered. "Sometimes I feel like I knew you before." A memory pierced her. Fire, smoke, screams, a boy standing in the shadows watching it all. Her throat tightened. And then, like glass cracking under pressure, her lips parted. "You did." One word. Quiet. Raspy. But real. Elijah froze. "Did you just speak?" She nodded slowly. A tear escaped her eye. She tried, but the words failed. He didn't push further. He just held her. Later that week, Zeri visited her grandmother's home to collect old documents for an exhibition. Inside a dusty album, she found a photograph, faded, curled at the edges. Her childhood home. Her mother smiling. A group of children from the neighborhood at a birthday party. There, at the edge of the frame, was a boy. 11, maybe 12. watching the camera with haunted eyes. Zuri felt her heart thunder. She flipped the photo. Kamari family visit, 2002, written in blue ink. Her fingers shook. The boy in the photo was Elijah. That night, Zuri couldn't sleep. Memories crashed over her like waves. She remembered that birthday. The cake. The candles. Her mother's laugh. And then, the fire. Sudden. Ruthless. And a boy running away from the kitchen. She remembered screams. Smoke. Someone yelling. The stove. The gas. She had locked the memory away. But now, it came back. Zuri sat on her bed, clutching the photograph, unable to breathe. Elijah hadn't just walked into her life. He had been the boy who fled the fire. The next day, Zuri invited Elijah to her apartment. She cooked ugali and sukuma. Lit candles. Soft jazz played in the background. A strange tenderness wrapped the evening. When they finished eating, she handed him the photo. He stared. "I remember this," he said slowly. "This was the week everything changed for me." Zuri's voice was barely audible. "Did you start the fire?" Elijah's face fell. "I don't know," he whispered. "I was a stupid kid. I turned on the stove to warm milk for my sister. Then I ran out to play. I didn't think," his voice cracked. "I didn't know someone would die." Zuri's lips trembled. "My mother died that night." Elijah stared at her, horror slowly sinking in. "You lived there?" Zuri nodded. "And after that night, I stopped speaking." Elijah disappeared for a week. No texts. No calls. No work. Zuri told no one. She returned to her silence, but this time it wasn't armor. It was grief all over again. When he finally returned, his eyes were hollow. "I understand if you never want to see me again," he said. "I never meant to hurt anyone. But the truth is, I've been searching for that night my whole life. I just didn't know it would lead me to you." Zuri didn't reply. He turned to leave. Then she whispered, "Don't run." He froze. "I'm tired of men running," she said louder. "That fire broke more than bricks. It burned a hole inside me." He faced her. "And yet," she continued, "you helped me rebuild it, not knowing you lit it in the first place." Zuri gave him a choice. "Stay, and we face the past together. Or leave, and let it haunt us both forever." Elijah stayed. They sought therapy. Met survivors. Zuri visited her mother's grave and forgave, not for him, but for herself. Their love didn't fix everything. But it grew, patient, scarred, honest. Zuri began speaking publicly again. She led design panels. Shared her story. Her silence became strength. And Elijah? He built a new wing at an orphanage, in her mother's name. Years later, on the rooftop of their dream home overlooking Nairobi, Elijah asked, "Do you still think silence protects you?" Zuri smiled. "No. But sometimes, it still speaks louder than words." She took his hand, placed it over her heart, and closed her eyes. And in that silence, a love deeper than fire, memory, or pain, finally spoke everything they'd never said.